Lunchtime with Anna, and I'm here with a special guest and friend, Kira Devon. Let me So anyways, I want a huge hug because I love this girl to pieces. So Kira, I want to, first of all, she's got her book here, and I heard you were putting it somewhere else.
Well,
can you talk? Did you get it done?
No.
So we won't talk about that.
It'll be available in other places soon.
Very soon. So she's working that out. The name of her book is Notes to Self. Can you explain what that means to the audience? What that would mean to the audience when, let's not say if, when they go buy this book and learn about this book?
Well, in short, Notes to Self is a book of notes that I've written to myself over the years. It's about things that I wish someone would have told me, things that I learned along the way, things that I might not have listened to when I was younger, but thought about when I was older. And also, I've written notes everywhere, like everywhere, on napkins, Post-its, paper towels, gum wrappers, anywhere that I could write. When I was out or at work or whatever, and an idea came to me, I started writing. So that's how the name became Notes to Self.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few chapters. We're not going to go into too many because we don't want to give...
Their notes.
Exactly. The whole purpose for the book, because then what's the point in, them going out to purchase it? So on chapter 3, which is, go ahead, you could talk about, do you remember off the top of your head what your chapter was?
Okay, chapter 3, I don't remember actually, but just a note from chapter 3 is don't let your distractions be bigger than you, your goals, or your dreams. Meaning sometimes we have distractions and the distractions can be avoidable or unavoidable. Meaning, if you have things to do with your children, if you have to go to the store to get food, and they're preventing you from doing something that you need to work on, those are unavoidable distractions. You have to do those things. Other distractions that are avoidable, social media.
Can I interrupt you for a second? So other distractions that are avoidable is the one that just distracted me, which is my phone just kept beeping, and I'm like, it's driving me crazy, so let me shut it off. So I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
But in there for a second.
But distractions that can be avoided, our phones. We can, like she did, turn it off for a while if we know we have something that we need to focus on or a goal that we want to obtain. Social media. I know that social media, I constantly see people walking around with their heads down, or people in restaurants not even paying attention to, what's going on around them. So, when you are focusing on your dreams and your goals and your visions, it is very important that you separate the distractions, separate the ones that are avoidable and unavoidable, and figure out, what your priorities are from there so that you can conquer your dreams and you can go after your goals and the things that you want to do in life.
I like that. The next one that I wanted to talk about. Oh, you know what? I forgot to give you guys the phone number to call in.
678-381-1973.
So feel free to call in if you have any questions or comments for Kira. And she is an amazing person. She has more, as most of us women do, more than one hat that she wears. But hers are so amazing to me. I love this girl to pieces, and she knows it.
Tear.
She is who I run to. I love many of you guys, but she is who I run to when I just got to clear my head because sometimes things just get overwhelming around me. And I just really want to tell you on a personal level, I appreciate that.
You will not make me cry on the show.
You get
I'm
my
not even
head
gonna look
straight
at you.
again. And just thank you for that, because sometimes you just need that person in your life that can really make that peace, I guess, around you. Because sometimes you have 1,000,001 distractions, 1,000,001 phone calls, and
phone calls, texts, people driving you crazy,
and doing this, doing that, and it's like you just sometimes need that one person that is your peace and redirect you and tell you, no, take you time. No, do you. Forget everything else. Block everything else. Shut off that phone. And, it's amazing because some people will get to me through email if need be. That's really bad. So it's getting to the point where I'm about to shut off emails too.
Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to.
Some people, if they had my children's numbers,
no, we're not doing that.
Contact me that way. Hey, I'm just saying, just being honest. Sometimes we just need that, especially when you have other things going on. You just really need that you time and to focus. So, anyway, I got off subject, but I really want to thank you for that. And thank you for being a great friend because it means a lot. And no crying, no crying. No crying because then I'm going to cry too. And everybody knows I'm very emotional and I'm always crying. So, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now it goes and it takes me to chapter 11. I really like this. Obligations before aspirations. Her notes on this chapter was, there is nothing wrong with living below your means. Now listen to these words again. There is nothing wrong with living below your means. What do you mean by that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with living below your means. Basically,
I'm going to elaborate on that.
People always, a lot of people, they try to live above their means, meaning they have to have this certain thing or do this certain thing when that's not really the priority at the moment. Living below your means will allow you to be able to do things later on. Mm-hmm. I've heard so many people say, oh, I got to get this bag right now. I got to get this, these shoes right now. And I'm thinking, do you have as much as the shoes cost or the bag costs in your account? Or are you emptying your account to get these things?
There you go.
That's not important. It angers me when I see grown people stand in line for tennis shoes overnight for hours. And I'm thinking that money could be invested into something else. That $200 or $300 could be invested to starting an LLC. It could be invested in, buying equipment for your business. It could be so many things. So in terms of, living below your means again, just take your time and plan your stuff out. If you can afford it, great. But don't take from something that you need or something that you have to do in order to fit in with the crowd or keep up with the Joneses, as they would say. Mm-hmm. Because that's really not important. And I think that, when people do that, they really need to do a self-check and self-evaluation. And I'm saying that not just because, I'm preaching or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying it because that's really what I learned when I was in my 20s and, early 30s. I was like, oh, well, I can do this and I can do that. And then one day I was like, no, I really can't do this. It's not making any sense. It's not giving me any return. It's not, giving me anything at all other than, oh, I got to have it. No, I'm not saying don't treat yourself every once in a while. Mm-hmm. But what I am saying is you don't have to do it all the time. And your children, you should be an example to them in terms of every time you go in the store, you don't have to pick something up that they don't need. That's just my opinion. You can do what you want with it, but that's just my opinion.
So, and I am going to tell you guys, I'm probably the cheapest person you'll ever meet. I go to the clearance rack, and it has to be like 90% off. I love fashion, don't get me wrong, I do. But I am one of those people that, especially now with tax season coming up, it's kind of crazy. It really upsets me when somebody's already got all their tax return money accounted for, and it's for other things that you're doing or other debts that you already have, instead of turning around and saving it for maybe a family cruise. Some people can't go and do things like that. A family vacation. Just savings for heaven's sakes, if there's hard times, or an investment, down payment on a house. I always say that cars, I'm one of the, like I said, I'm one of those El Cheapo. I do drive a Mustang, but I'm one of those that if I can't, and this is the majority of time, if I can't pay cash, I don't get myself in the debt.
Right. Makes sense.
I'm really big, and I so agree with you, because a lot of times I'll see people buying, and this includes my children. I am not going to turn around and buy Jordans for you when we can get last year's Jordans that are on sale. I'm not going to get you the new ones. Yes, or go to the outlets. Another one is I'm not going to buy a Gucci belt or a Gucci bag for X amount of monies just to be so that you get this appeal of what I look like or what I should look like. Because people that usually have it, what do? They don't show it, right?
Right.
They don't show it. So, and again, I'm sorry if we offend anybody with that take on it.
I'm not.
With that take on it. I'm telling you, that's why I love this girl. She's like,
because I'm coming from a place of
love.
learning and love. And also, I just see it so often that, people will, go to the extreme, to splurge. And again, I'm not saying don't ever do that for yourself or your children or your family or anything like that. What I am saying is just be cautious, be a little bit more thoughtful of other things that may be happening. I've literally seen people stand in line for tennis shoes, but then
can't pay
the next day they're like, oh, I gotta pay my bill. I'm like, why did you buy the shoes? Like,
in the first place.
So,
exactly.
And I teach my children the same thing. And it's so funny to me that when we sometimes go in the store, they'll like head straight for the sales and the clearance. And I'm like,
yes, he taught them
well. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how do you know about that?
Mini me.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, so it's a good thing. And you don't have to put all of your eggs in the same basket, if that makes sense. But no, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not worried about offending anybody because it's honest and true.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I see it all the time, and it's a big one where I tell people, me, it doesn't matter what I do have or what I don't have. First of all, you're not going to know because usually people, they don't talk about stuff like that. But invest in yourself. Invest in the stock market. Get a what do you call these that they have in the bank? A CD. Invest in your children, your grandchildren, the next generation to come. You know what? Instead of investing on that fresh car, invest on a house that you can leave these different things. Save up for savings bonds. Things like this. Get them one each year, and you're going to thank me in 30, 40 years down the line. It'll eventually get an increase, or even save it to where they can open it at maybe age 30 after your kids have grown up and gone to college, hopefully, or done whatever they've done.
Get life insurance.
Yes, life insurance is a big one. That is a huge one, and a lot of people believe, okay, tomorrow, anything can happen between today and tomorrow. Right now I can go get in my car, and what am I leaving my children and my family? What am I leaving? So that is a huge one, life insurance. I'm not too much into the 401k. I'm not a fan of those for many different reasons, but that's just my take. But if that's what it takes for you to invest into your retirement, go ahead and do that, So I am all for that. We wanted to also let you guys know, and I want to make sure that it's talked about more than one time in the show. Can you please tell us what's going on April 4th and 5th? And I'm getting off subject for a few seconds.
I was like, what is she about to say? So April 4th and 5th, we are having a workshop. It will be for parental units and teens, as well as special needs families. So it will be myself and We See You Human Justice Organization. And it will be both the 4th and the 5th. Again, it's parental units and teens. And I say parental units and teens because that's what the kids say. Oh, this is my parental unit. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
And as well as special needs families in terms of some challenges and benefits that they may face as well. And in finding, what they may face, special needs families, you might find that we face some of the same things. So it's going to be a good workshop, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Me too. And it's amazing because when we were talking about this, our brains are just... Okay, so we were at Chick-fil-A. You guys know I like to be as transparent as possible. We were at Chick-fil-A, and, this is like the main place for Christian folks, right? So we're sitting there. I mean, we had breakfast, lunch.
Oh
Only reason we had to leave was because I had to go pick up the kids, okay? It was that good of a conversation because we're planning for this workshop, and this is going to be the first of a few throughout the years. Right. The year and years to come.
Go ahead. I was going to say, go ahead. You can say
years. Yes, lady, because you got to vision it, and, you'll get there. But it was just so amazing about, because I walked her through some, because certain things, and she could probably, get into that when, as you guys get to know her, come to one of these workshops. To her, certain things were normal that maybe to me, being a special needs parent, it's, like I said, I'm pretty transparent. I let people know I have a child who's diagnosed with autism and many other things aside from that. And anyways, I was explaining to her the uphill battle, and she's like, I didn't know that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was, but like I said, this is something you guys do not want to miss. It will be at the Church of College Park. We will continue to put up the address and keep you guys informed as things come up. There's something else that's going to be going on because, as everybody knows, it's an election year. So we wanted to make sure of certain things going on while these workshops went on throughout the year. So if you could please talk about that, if you don't mind, Kira.
Voting. Everybody needs to vote.
Yes.
If you are 18 and older, please vote. If you are 18 and older, please vote. Register to vote. You can register to vote now. I don't have to go into detail about everything that's going on. We all see it. We all hear it. And again, I will mention this. When it comes to your president, their president, who's ever president, and our former president, let's take everything away from like politics, things that, the ways that they look, and focus on the character of the person. As well, of course, the ability to do the job, but who really knows, how deep that can go. But pay attention to the character of the person, how they treat their family, how they represent themselves, how, they speak to the public and address other people and the things that they say and, the tone that they use and things like that. Pay attention to the person instead of, oh, I just want to vote for this person because somebody told me to. Do your own research. Pay attention to, the local elections as well as the general election. And I'm not political. Do not get it twisted. I do not.
She's really not.
I do not. Please don't get it twisted.
But she does vote.
I do vote. And I do my own research and make my decision based on that. So I'm just asking that everyone else do the same thing. And that's all I will say about it. I will not go any deeper. Pay attention to the character of the person. Pay attention to their abilities. And pay attention to you as a person when you're making that decision and doing your research. That's it. That's all as far as politics.
I love that. The phone lines are open. You can call with any comments or questions, and please take advantage while Kira's here. 678-381-1973 is the phone number. So we're going to go into a quick commercial break, and then after that, we're going to talk a little more with Kira about these strengths that she has. I call them strengths because a lot of those stuff I'm still working on. So we'll be right back.
Okay, bye.
Your word is the light unto my pathway, and your word is the lamp unto my feet, Lord. Your word is the air that I breathe. Your word is the most important thing to me. Your word is the light unto my pathway, and your word is the lamp unto my feet. Oh, your word is the air that I breathe. Your word is the most important thing to me. I'll hide it in my heart that I might not sin against you. I'll hide it in my heart that I might not sin against you. I'll hide it in my heart that I might not sin against you. Your word is the most important thing to me. Your word is the light unto my pathway.
So I also, we're back and lunchtime with Anna. I also wanted to tell you guys that you guys can listen to this broadcast along with other broadcasts at dkmradio.com. And it's got all the shows that have aired. Morning Glory, Black Friday, and there's more in between those. I'm just more familiar with those because that's about the time I tune in. But there's a lot of things to listen to and whatnot. And again, the phone lines are open, 678-381-1973. Something that I did forget to mention, and I go through notes because I do forget, and I kind of went ahead of myself. I put my note in the wrong place, but I wanted to mention that Kira is a certified life coach. She's an author, a mother, a grandmother, but this one's the most important. She's an actress. Can you tell? She is an actress, and to go back to our conversation at Chick-fil-A, she's like, oh, well, should I put this in? And I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about all our personal stuff.
That's okay.
But she's like, should we even mention this? And I told her yes, because this is what you do. And why wouldn't you put that? So, she's coaching me a lot of times, as a friend of mine, coaching me and helping me walk through things. But this time I felt really special because I helped her. And I'm like, yes, why wouldn't you put that on there? That's what you are. That's what you do. And you need to put that on there and just see it and continue seeing it. But, I continue saying you're an actress because that's what you are. And she wears so many other hats. Like I said, an amazing friend, a truthful friend, because she'll say how it is. Those are my favorite friends because if you're always agreeing with me, like, come on, man, just tell me when I'm wrong. I mean, I can accept that for what it is, Right. So we all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. And if I need to work on something, it's always great to know that I have people around me that do tell me and correct me, because I think the Bible even talks about that, right? Yeah. You should correct somebody when they're wrong, and those are the type of people, because I think that's loving your people around you, your neighbors or whatever. So now I wanted to talk about we're to chapter 16. And I only picked, again, like I said, if you guys missed the broadcast earlier, I picked only 3 chapters out of the book because I don't want to give all the chapters, because then that's cheating. Then it's like you heard an audio of the book. That's not fair. So then she's not going to get the money for the hard work she did, taking her notes and Bubba Gum wrappers and everything else.
I wish I still had some of those wrappers, because I really did. You remember the wrappers that were... like the aluminum wrappers, but it was like white inside. Like I literally wrote notes.
You should have kept them, because maybe you could have done like a collage or something. Like seriously, like a picture collage.
Look,
I'm serious as a heart attack. No, so I have notes that I've had, and this is crazy.
Oh, geez, fantastic.
These were visions I had and prayers that I had for people around me.
Oh, okay.
And some people call it a prayer room, prayer closet, prayer wall. So I did this about 5 years ago. I still have each one of those index cards on my wall, and I'll look at them sometimes, and I'm like, I still need to pray for that person, or I still need to pray for that. I vision this. I see this coming.
Right.
And that's why I can understand where you're coming from. But bubblegum wrappers, that's pretty cool. I would have never thought to do. Well, I usually have these Altoids, so I don't know. Maybe they're good. Yeah, maybe on the white thing and on the inside, I guess maybe with a black marker or whatever. So anyway, phone lines are open again, 678-381-1973. The next chapter, and it's funny we were talking about this, is vision. So the note that you have written on that chapter is vision boards, and what to think about. So can you explain to the audience, the listening audience, what that means and where you were going with that chapter for them to understand?
Okay. First, before we talk about that, I just want to say real quick, thank you. In terms of reminding myself about, me being an actor, actress, and things like that. Sometimes we get so caught up in doing everything else that we have our dream on one side and then everything else on the other side. So to have someone remind me or just, tell me is, that was a big deal because I'm always the one telling everybody else stuff. And two other things that I want to mention is that I know we've all heard, before, and what is the phrase that God qualifies the called? That's so true. I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it in the lives of other people around me. So that's true. And also, when we're talking about vision, at least a lot of people that I know have a vision. They'll say they want to do this, and they say, I don't know how to get there, or I don't know how to, make this happen. When all we have to do is vision. Have the vision and just pay attention to what that vision is. Also, when we're thinking about our vision, it is helpful to do, a vision board, whether it be digital or traditional. I recently had a workshop that was a 2020 vision workshop. It was really fun. We did digital vision boards and traditional vision boards. And my key to that was don't just do a vision board and stick pictures on it. Think about what your vision is and the things that you want. Also, think about the purpose. Think about your purpose, your passion, and then pray about it. These things will happen. Trust me. I know I've seen it. Once. I just believe it. That's what I believe. But with that, your purpose and your passion, some people think that that's the same thing, and it's not. They can be combined, but it's not. Your purpose, that's what you're called to do. Your passion is just something that you love to do. For myself, I was fortunate enough to have those two things meet. So in working with single parents and teen parents, and then incorporating acting into some of the things that I do. So that's where my purpose and my passion met. And it didn't let me, forget about what my dreams were in the process. So I think that when you're, thinking about what your vision is, just be specific and be intentional. Do not forget to be intentional. And even while life is happening, you can still focus on your dreams, your goals, and your vision. And and you can still focus on these things without it feeling like a burden. Just take one step at a time. Remember yourself in the process. While you're doing that, you can still focus on your children. You can still go to work. You can still pay your bills. You can do, all the things that you want to do. But you'll have a reminder in front of you. So if you do a digital vision board, you can put it on your phone, put it on your tablet, put it on your computer. I have mine everywhere. For, you know, a traditional vision board, of course, you want to hang it somewhere where you'll be able to see it and remind yourself. So that's my take on vision. I have a lot more, and I can talk a lot, but we only have a certain amount of time. So
I'm telling you, together we had breakfast and lunch, brunch. I mean, we could have gone more, but I really had to step out to pick up the kids, and she had her own stuff to do. But I have a question when it comes to that vision board, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to her workshop because I was here doing my own show. So it's kind of awesome. It started out to be a good year for the both of us.
Yeah.
With things we were looking at already, because like I said, 2020 should be a year of perfect vision for each and every one of us. Keep your focus there. Mm-hmm. But I have a question for you, my friend. When you look at these or do these vision boards, are you just looking at the short term? No. Or is it 5 years down the line? Can they do this anyway? You know, and I'm sure the book will elaborate on exactly what that's concentrating on.
Well, here's the thing. Some people they can do it how they want. Mm-hmm. They can do it for the year. They can do it in quarters. They can, however they want to do it. I find for me that when I do my vision board, I don't do the vision boards in quarters per se, but every quarter I'm looking to check certain things off of my vision board that I've accomplished or I've wanted to do. When I do, workshops and things like that, I'll, say it doesn't have to be just this year. You could have a goal of wanting to pay something off sooner than, sooner than it's due. Mm-hmm. So you can put that on your vision board, and that may just happen. Just a quick story real quick. I have a friend who put on her vision board when her kids were in high school, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong. I know I'm not going to go over the whole story, but in short, she put this on her vision board. She wanted her children to get full scholarships to college.
Oh, that's going to make me cry.
All of her children got of course you have to do the work, but all of her children got full scholarships to college. One is studying architecture at Kennesaw State. The other is studying something medical at Johns Hopkins University in Maryland. So these things, like I said, it's a reminder of, okay, I said this, I wanted to do this, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it. Even if you don't know what steps to take to do it, then you can find out those steps through research, through networking, and just talking to other people. Sometimes we got to open our mouths even when we're afraid to. And you'll be surprised at what information you get.
She always tells me that, seriously, you guys see me. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I've gotten to the point where I've learned to speak up a little bit more, even at church. If any of my church family's there, I love you guys watching me. I have the most amazing church family. And I was able to give, to me, this is pretty amazing. I was able to give the last church service for 2019, and then I was able to do my show on the 1st. So it just gave me a vision of what was coming. I've had some obstacles already, but I just kind of moved that out the way, and you just keep moving. And this is what she tells me: don't even look back, forget it. So and I'm still working on that within myself as a person, because I do sympathize with people so much, and I put myself in their shoes, and some people take that for granted, and they take advantage of that. So what I wanted to say was, or ask you, was, okay, so I think also, just make a statement. Doesn't the Bible say, how does it go? Out of your tongue, you speak abundance? Is it something like that? Mm-hmm. Where you speak. Huh? Exactly. So my thing is, so if we're talking negativity or having these vision boards with a bunch of negativity, that's what you're going to have around you.
Right.
But if one thing that I do try to do, and I know this might sound silly, is I try to have positive around me. Some of those spirits can really drain you. By the time you get off the phone, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened there? And I'm still working on that because it seems like I was an attraction to a lot of that. And I'm still working to push a lot of that away because you just want to help people and whatnot, but, they don't even desire good for you. So, and I think that's where you're going with the vision board. Is that correct?
And I also share this with you, not just for the vision board, but for life. I share as well, for me, I am a protector of my own peace, space, and energy. I will not allow someone into my space to break my peace. Didn't just happen overnight. It's something that I had to learn. It's something that I had to grow through. But once you gain a certain level of peace, oh my gosh, you don't want to take a chance of anybody taking that away. So you have to protect your space. You have to protect your energy. And in terms of when she was saying, don't look back. A lot of times we can get caught up on looking back. A lot of times we can get stuck looking in the rearview mirror. But if we don't even bother to look back, then we won't have anything to look back to. So I practice, if I'm going to look back, I look back at the good. I look back at the positive. I look back at the lessons I've learned and how not to repeat those same things moving forward. So, just if you're going to look back, make sure your rearview mirror is smudge free.
I like that, smudge free. Because I'm one of those people that tries to, and I don't do it so much now, and I'm learning not to, but I try to fix people. I try to see what's your problem. And you know what? I've learned with life that's why you go see a psychologist or a counselor. I can't be that person. Or a life coach. I cannot be that person because it really, and I've talked to Kira about certain situations. It really drains you, especially when you got 1,000,001 other things going on and you're looking to get certain goals done. And, and that's why I invited you to come in, because with so much negativity out in this world, you want to have something positive. And I think she's just wonderful for that. And she just loves that. One thing I wanted to ask each and every one of you guys, listening audience, we're heard in 57 countries, is that correct? 58 countries plus around the nation. If there is anybody, especially in the state of Georgia, but if there's anybody that's associated with single and teen parents, and that there is any organizations that you work with that deal with teen parents, please call or contact Kira or myself. Obviously, if you guys are watching us from any of the social media, you guys can message her, message me. You guys can contact DKM Radio. You guys can also contact Rahim Ajame. The message will get to either of us, and I will gladly share with her if the message, is on given to any of us. But I wanted to make sure that was stressed out because it is so important to get in contact with all these people. Because so one thing that maybe, and we kind of skipped through that because I kind of cheated. I did an interview already with her, so that but some of you guys don't know this, so I will go back on that. Why is teen parents your passion, and what has made you do all this mentoring and life coaching and all of this that you do for teens and teen parents, and of course families altogether? But that is her passion. Can you explain to them why?
I will try to be as short as possible. But
I cheated.
Teen parents and single parents are my passion, and I know that is what I'm supposed to do first, before acting, before anything else that I'm doing. I know that is what I was called to do, is work with teen parents and single parents, specifically because I was one. I am one. With teen parents, everybody, well, even single parents as well, but, with adults, they get a little bit of a break. However, I do know that a lot of the same issues they face. With teen parents, they automatically get a stigma. They automatically get a bad rap. They automatically get a dirty look, or an assumption of what happened to make them become a teen parent. When in actuality, it could just be anything from a lack of knowledge, neglect, low self-esteem. It could be anything, but there aren't enough people to really dig into the why of what happened before they label someone. And in my experience in working with teen parents and single parents, as well as the parents of a teen parent, a lot of times it boils down to a huge lack of communication, a huge lack of respect, and a huge lack of somebody not being guided properly. And when I say somebody not being guided properly, it could come from the parents not being guided properly when they were children, and they do what they know with the parents. So it could be generational, it could be across the board, but that's what I've discovered a lot of times. And not to mention, there's so many things going on in the world today with school, with work, with, just society in general. I don't think enough of us as adults listen to our children or listen to teens in general, just to see what they're thinking or what's going on in their brains, because you can ask your child, how was school today? And what do they say? Good. Fine. Good. Or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes they will say bad, but they, it's not often that they'll go into the details of what happened. So for my, I have a 15-year-old son. He's my youngest, and he's in 10th grade. So when he walks through the door or we see each other for the day, I'll say, how was school? And he'll say good, or he'll say, ugh, or he'll say, oh, goodness, I'll tell you about it in a minute. So I give him a minute to debrief, get himself together, after coming in from school. And then maybe an hour later or, whatever point we meet back up in the evening, we have a conversation about what happened in school and why, it felt that way. Most of the time it's nothing major, but it helps them to be able to get it out and express themselves so that they don't carry it with them to bed or the next day. And I just think I wish a lot of parents would take the time to do that, because he's often said to me, I know I'm going to look back at this and think, oh my goodness, I'm so silly. But he's often said to me, things about his friends at school or somebody he might interact with at school, and he'll say, it sounds like their parents don't talk to them. And I'm like, that might be the case. So, it shows in the behavior of children as well. Right.
So one thing, I'm like you when it comes to that. It's kind of funny, and this is my first time hearing that. So first thing I ask the kids as soon as they get in the car is, how was school? They'll turn around and they'll tell me, good. I have a daughter, so we all know they usually have personality. And, she'll tell me more than I need to know, but I want that. Because at the end of the day, you're communicating with me and you're letting me know, at this age, she's also a sophomore, and she lets me know, Mom, this guy, he won't leave me alone. And I'm like, well, were you nice? And kind of brush him off. Well, no, there's no reason to be nice. He's disgusting. And I'm like, oh, gosh, if she isn't her mother's daughter when I was that age. Right, so, and things like that. And then my son, I don't get too much out of him. He's like, good, no matter what. Right. I'm like, well, what happened? Did you take a test? Did you, so I think it's just a parent, and I think you have to start with them really young. Yeah. I think you trying to start after the age 12, you're not going to get anywhere with them. Yeah. I wanted to ask you a question. When it comes to abortion in teens, what is your take on that?
Abortions and teens. She's getting distracted again, y'all. I don't know what she's doing. I'm just joking. But distractions. Abortions and teens. I think that we really have to take the time to educate our teens. And I'm going to speak specifically about this so that I don't go off, because I can easily go off. But I think we have to take the time to not just us educate them, but if you have a teen who has become pregnant and who, is thinking about abortion or pressured into getting an abortion. I think it's extremely important for them to be educated. And I don't mean just educated through you as the parent or caretaker. I mean educated in terms of the a provider, a doctor, in terms of what's involved in the abortion, the risk, why they're wanting to get an abortion or why they don't want to get an abortion, and just all the details before, so that they can make a sound decision. Because I do believe whether you're a child or an adult, it's your body and it is your decision of what you do. Nobody can control that. However, if you have the education behind it, then you can make a conscious decision. If you know the details of what's going to happen during the process, how it's going to happen during the process. Because when teenagers go to the doctor, they don't know what questions to ask all the time. And a lot of times, you know, the medical staff or whomever may just look at them as children still, which means they don't get as much respect as an adult would. It could mean a lot of things, but ultimately, you know, it is their decision. Sometimes they go through with it once they find out all the details. Sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, we all need to be educated, and we all need to be able to make a clear decision on what we're doing with our bodies. And then, you know, move forward from there. I won't put my opinion regarding this, because my opinion doesn't count if it's somebody that I'm not directly connected to in that way. So I don't want to waver anybody from making any decisions one way or the other. But what I do want to reiterate is to be educated, get education on every detail, every step, and know what your why is, regardless of what decision you make.
And so what she's saying to me is very important, because a lot of times we'll have, and it's happened to, I will not go into names or actual going into details with their story, but it's happened. I'll just leave this say it like this, because it's people I know and they may be listening, that were forced to make a decision that they truly were against. You got to think that your body will have sometimes consequences for many years, and maybe sometimes for the rest of your life. So, and I don't think they tell you this when you go to the office. I don't know. I've never been through that, you know. However, it is your body. Look online, talk to somebody who maybe has some medical background, and find out the facts before you go and you make a decision. There's many other options that you can do, and not necessarily have family members, and I'm going to say it like that, force you to make decisions unwillingly. And this is for teens. I'm not talking about the adults, because I know a few of those too, that every time you turn around, they were having an abortion. That's just, come on. And it just, there's other ways to protect yourself rather than constantly going to the doctor's office and, you know, doing whatever you do.
And like you said, protect yourself. If you protect yourself, you won't have this issue.
This problem.
If you, and I'm not saying one of you protect yourself. Both parties need to protect yourself.
Yes.
Because you never know what the intent of the other person is. You never know if they're fully protected. So protect yourself, and this won't even be an issue.
Exactly.
So, you know, and it's numbers of ways to protect yourself. Birth control, condoms, the shot, anything. Protect yourself against not just getting pregnant, but STDs and things like that. Take care of you. Take care of your body. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. And you, again, this won't be an issue with you because you have taken a preventive measure.
So I wanted to mention again that on the 4th and the 5th of April, we will be having
our parental units and teens workshop, as well as families with disabilities. That was not me. As well
as me when I moved. No moving, Anna, no moving.
Parental units and teens, as well as families with disabilities. And just a little bit more of what we will be talking about and working through there is relationships between parents and children, communication, how not to be your child's friend, but be their parent first. And in terms of families with disabilities, challenges and benefits, you'll hear from siblings of children, of siblings with special needs and how they're affected or how they're benefited. So it'll be a lot of information, and we will have, more details as we get closer to the date, but it will be something that you don't want to miss for sure.
At all. And again, there'll be other topics that are talked about on these 2 days that she doesn't like to talk about. And I really don't feel like mentioning them. Just make sure that you make it there. We will keep promoting on both pages and on other sites on social media. For sure. One thing, and again, the lines are open, 678-381-1973. One other thing I wanted to ask you about, and I think this one's so important for all of us, not only teen parents, self-care for everyone. What is your take on that?
Self-care for everyone. Men, women, boys, and girls.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Especially Anna.
Self-care is extremely important. If you start with the basics, then you'll be fine moving forward. And when I say the basics, I mean taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically. If you get your spiritual and emotional self-care in check, then you can do the physical and the financial and things like that. That will come. Oftentimes we hear men and women, boys and girls say, oh, we're going to do this. It's a self-care day. I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to go get a haircut. I'm going to go, do this. I'm going to go get my nails done. Those things are necessary. Don't get me wrong. I practice those things myself. And men, yes, we want you to get your hair cut, and we want you to look nice, and we want you to get a pedicure and a manicure. Don't be afraid to do that. Those things, and we want you, to work out and take care of yourself and things like that. And go to the doctor. Those those are all considered self-care. But more importantly, make sure that you're emotionally in check as well. Make sure that if you have something that you're dealing with, you don't hold on to it. And if you have things from your past, that you don't take them into your future or your next relationship.
Lunchtime with Anna. Go ahead with your comment or your question, and who am I speaking with?
Hi, Miss Anna. This is Jasenia Perez.
Hey, Jasenia.
Hi. I called in a little early, and also I did want to tell you guys, this self-care is so important because it all does start with self-care, and of course it goes further, and that's how they get to the teen pregnancies and stuff like that. But that's a very hard topic. It is so needed, though, in the community to try to be dealt with and to let these things be heard of the abortions and things like that. Very delicate situations, but very much so needed to be heard. And yes, I am so in agreement with the self-care. I believe it starts from ground zero.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And one thing, and we'll go ahead and we'll be back with you in a few minutes, Jasenia, and thank you for calling in. One thing that I have learned with Kira is go to the coffee shop, because she knows I love my coffee. Go to the coffee shop, shut everything off, all devices, because I'm telling you, through my iPad, they're reaching me through FaceTime, through my kids. I mean, they're finding communication.
You get unauthorized FaceTime? No, that is a no.
Like, how did you find me? But anyhow, so she's teaching me this because a lot of times, even preparing for the show, she knows a lot of what goes into it because I've explained to her. We actually did a run through of what, pretty much we were going to talk about because both of us, I think, are OCD with preparation and stuff like that. So for her, she told me, she goes, Anna, just shut everything off. Just no, if they can't respect that, if people can't respect your space, but that's what caring for yourself is. Because I have a tendency of, okay, I'll just take this call. This call can sometimes turn into 8 hours, and I'm like, I want to get off the phone.
And not to mention, too, that when, we talk about self-care, of course we want ourselves and our full and total self to be healthy. Mm-hmm. However, if we're not practicing direct self-care for ourselves, we will not be any good for anybody else.
There you go.
And our children need us, our families need us. So in them needing us, it's okay to say no to them sometimes. Because,
I'm learning that too. That's really
if you
hard
have
for
small
me.
kids, they're mommy, 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 mommy. And I'm like, I used to tell my kids, that's not my name anymore. But that was before I
Mommy
learned.
went into her turtle shell.
That was before I fully learned what self-care really was. And now that I'm able to practice it effectively, then it's no going back. Because I matter that much to myself. Mm-hmm. And I want to be available, not just physically available, but on all levels. I want to be available to my children and the people that care about me and that I care about. Plus, I want to live till I'm like 100, so I got it. And I don't want to just be 100. I want to, be doing some things when I'm 100.
Me too. I want to be that lady that they're talking about on social media that she's doing like these wonderful things. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I want to be living life. And
so you have to practice self-care now. Yeah.
So and I'm still currently, if anybody's looking for a gym partner, I am still looking for a gym partner.
I would take her with me, but she lives too far.
I need to get back in shape. And if you're like weird and stuff, no gym. But I do want to get back into that regimen of working out. People have asked me, they looked at old pictures, they're like, you used to work out. Yes, I did work out a lot. I've kind of let go of that, and you can kind of see it when you see me live.
Well, when the weather changes, here's a challenge for you on the air. And anybody else who wants to come, because this is something that I love to do. So when the weather's consistent, let's walk up Stone Mountain.
You know what?
I'm all love walking up Stone Mountain.
I am all for that.
There's something about the piece at the top that's unexplainable.
You know what? I'm all for that. And you know what? I'll do it nice and early and then come here to the station.
Yeah,
how does that sound?
I usually do. I used to go, a group of us, some of my acting friends who have turned into family now.
Actress. Or actor, like they say now. Actress.
We used to go to Stone Mountain 4 times a week. And we would go at it would be like in the spring and summer, but we would go at like 6:30 when it, we would go and get to the top. We would say a prayer. We would, have our individual time, and then we would walk back down. Sometimes we might separate and go our own ways. Sometimes we might go get something to eat. And
I can't eat, and you've seen I like to eat. I love eating, you guys. I mean like a Christian and Chick-fil-A or food.
I think everybody was there having Bible studies when we were there. It was so funny.
So I don't want to gain back the pounds I'm letting, or the calories that I'm letting go of. So I probably won't eat. And I'm already trying to lose some weight.
You didn't say yes or no if you accepted my challenge.
Yes, I'm all for it.
Okay, do you accept my challenge? Okay.
Yes, and I'll go before.
Well, we're not going today.
Not today. I got a place to be. Pick up my babies. But for sure, I'll do that. We'll see how long it takes. You can, let me know off air how long it does take to go up and down. And I promise you one thing, I will make the arrangements and I will do it, especially right before my show, because it'll have me pumped up like I drank like 4 cups of coffee. Okay. I got 2 more things to ask you before we get off air, and I think they're very important. One is teens and drug addiction. Okay. What do you have to say about that?
Teens and drug addiction. There are a lot more than I've known to be teens that are facing drug addiction. And a lot of times from what my research has shown and what my experience has shown is that it happens by mistake. They don't mean to be addicted. They get addicted to pills. They get influenced, and then the addiction starts. And again, they don't educate. They don't have. That's why I wanted to know what organizations or anything work with teens and teen parents, because the education is not in the schools anymore. The education regarding, drugs and what could happen. I remember when I was in school, we would have all these seminars and things like that on why not to do drugs or why not listen to somebody tell you to take a pill or take, something that is a drug that may not look like a drug. So in short, with that, it's a lot of teens that are on drugs. Some you can tell by looking at them, some you can't. Some are depressed, some have, again, low self-esteem. Some see their parents taking drugs and they feel like it's okay. So it's different levels, it's multiple levels, but again, it goes back to education, because I think if some fear was put to the teens through education, then they would want to stay away from it and not try it. And I think also if I'm not going to put myself in this category, if parents stop trying to be friends with their children and their teens, then a lot of the issues that are happening now would not be happening, because they would be the parent first. And I always tell my children as well, like, I'm your parent first. We can be friendly.
That's right.
But I'm your parent first. So
that's what I mean too. I'm like, there's limitations, and you can't cross certain lines with me. And I love my children to death. They know it. I'm their best friend. I'm there for them. But it's not in the sense which most people would think. There is that boundary, and there will forever be that boundary, because you have to have that respect for me. Right. Because guess what? I birthed you, and there's certain behaviors you have not seen in me because I love you that much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think a lot of these parents, and I think a big thing with these teenagers, and some have become adults now, is that lack of communication. Yeah. Some parents didn't talk to us back when we were growing up. They would just kind of do what I say, and that's it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that was a lot of the issue. My last question, and we're going to go into woman to woman next, and then I want to make sure that I give you guys contact information for Kira, but is emotional issues, which we kind of went into that, and teens or for teens. How do you feel about that?
I think that with emotional issues, a lot of those issues could come from their parents or the adults that are around. With teens in particular, sometimes, they might think that they're grown or, older than what they are based on the environment that they're in. So that could lead to emotional issues, the things that they've been through just in life, or the things that they might see at school or their friends might go through. They might take on that burden, and that can cause emotional issues. That's why it's still important to check in with your children, show your children affection, allow your children to be children, so that they can feel like they're in a safe space with you when they're going through something. And if they are having an emotional issue, an emotional breakdown, or they're depressed, or whatever the situation is, it can be addressed early, and it won't become a problem later or going into their adulthood, because, we are all, adults with childhood issues. When if the issues would have been handled when we were children, we wouldn't have taken them into our adulthood.
I agree.
And we could be better adults. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying my children are perfect, but I definitely try to communicate with them and help them work through their issues. And it doesn't take forever or all day. It just takes some time. And if you decide to have children, then you owe them the time.
Yes. So, yes. Oh my gosh. Repeat that again. That's the truth. Yeah. That's the truth, my friend. And I always say this. I'm like, don't have them if you can't handle just that extra mile. And again, I'm not saying myself that I'm the perfect mother, but there's just certain things that just aren't happening in my household. There is no negotiations. And one thing that I do with my kids, and I don't know if this is some advice for somebody listening out there, or if, maybe you'll give somebody this advice. once I say no, there's no negotiating for me to even think about saying yes. Your word should be your bond, and that's that, especially with your children. Right. There's no negotiating. Oh, I told you no cell phone for a week because you did this or that or that. Don't give in and give them that cell phone in 3 days. Right. You messed up. Your word is nothing. Nothing to them. They just think you're a joke. So for me, I said a week. I might give it back to you in 8 days just because my word is everything, you know. Yeah. And I want them to understand that. It's not that I'm trying to boss them around or anything, but I also want them to know that definite line of I'm mom, your child, you're not going to do whatever you please. And I mean, maybe to other people I'm a strict parent, but I do it out of love because I want them to be the best citizens that they can be. Right. I don't want my children to fall into these statistics. So with Kira, I want you guys to know that she can be reached at, this is her website online. It's Kira Davon. I say it all the time. I'm sorry. That's my Latina accent. So it's KEARADAVON.com. You can also reach her at WOTM_notes, the number 1, and that's your Instagram, correct? Yes. Mm-hmm. And then her Twitter and her Facebook is Kira, KEARA, Davon, DAVON, and that's Facebook and Twitter. Now we're going to go on to Woman to Woman. Jasenia, are you there?
Yes. Glory to be alive. How are you guys today?
Hi.
We're good. It was a good show. I love this lady. I can have her come on every week just to give everybody an inspiration of keep them going.
Yes.
Positively.
Yes. Okay. Well, this is Woman to Woman. And what I'm going to speak about is a topic that's tough to hear, but it's very much needed to be heard. So, do you know, as a people of women, 18.8 million women ages 15 and older in the world have HIV and or AIDS. 6,200 teens are infected with this disease every single week, ladies, every single week. 160,000 among children from unborn to 14. Unborn to 14, Jesus. Now that's a wow. Let's all take a moment of silence to acknowledge all women. And yes, our young girls going through this, please. Hard truth, sad truth, big fact. We are targets. We must be careful. Please, women, educate and communication go hand in hand. We must teach, brainwash, if you would allow me to say such a thing. And this is irate. This is our future. Remember, women bear the world's fruit, gifts, children. We populate this land given to us by our God. As we know, the devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. I am asking, take a stand, even at home, especially at home, where we know as parents, it starts there at home. Teach our lovely girls to savor themselves, to learn how to choose a gentleman. Remember, they learn what they see, whether it is good or bad. Eventually, they will copy. Please stay strong and focus and teach as much as you can. Now, women, with this matter, love yourself, cloak yourself, pray always, and be that strong person, woman, girl, that God says you are. You can do this. Trust God in your movement. Make love and a memory every chance you think of it. Love you, ladies. Remember, we all have our own fight with emphasis, but together we can. One fact I would like to bring out. We are one of the smartest people in the world. Statistical fact. 2 women hold the largest IQ in the world, recorded history. Therefore, the power is yours. Take that power home and advance. There is no reason we should stay the target. No reason at all. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
And I love
with
you
that,
too.
I give it back to you.
I love you too. And I want you to know something. It's kind of funny with what your topic was, because it kind of, or your inspiration was, because it intertwined with what we were talking about. And thank you for that. God works in mysterious ways, and maybe somebody needed to hear all of this.
Right.
I really, really do appreciate you and your time that you take every week to do this for us, Jasenia. And, you know, these are topics that do matter. And I wanted to ask you one.
They do matter, yes.
Yes, I wanted to ask you one last question, if at all possible. Is that okay?
Go ahead. Sure.
Are you ready to pray us out?
Of course. That's my favorite man. I am married to him, so yes, I
know that's right.
All right, my devoted father, husband, and all. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus, for today was a great day. Today was a great show. Today was words that were repeated for women and young ladies to hear all across the world. Let's not exclude our men. Men, we love you too. But today we want to thank you for all the great things that you have put into our life and all the things that you may have imposed in our world that we think is an opposition, but together we know we can, What the devil meant for bad, God will make it good. So we know it is still good, no matter what it is. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. So next Wednesday, we'll be back. The topic will be medical kidnapping. This is something y'all don't want to miss. Again, and if there's any topics that y'all want to talk about, nobody will expose out to the light. I am here. Give me a call. Reach me at my Facebook. I finally flipped the name over, so it's under my first name, which is Ana, A-N-A. Last name Quiñones, Q-U-I-N-O-N-E-S. And you can contact me through Twitter, same name, Ana Quiñones. You can contact me through Instagram. It's under my last name first, Q-U-I-N-O-N-E-S as in Sam. First name Ana, A-N-A, and 471. Reach me any of the ways. I'm not going to give you guys emails because I got into the habit of doing that too, and they were reaching me through there. So just message me any way possible. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys know this. Anything that you guys need, feel free to contact us, and have a blessed and wonderful week. See you guys next week. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.